Morning lovely people, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. This will be the lovely Kermit. I say lovely, looks fantastic, not running particularly well at the moment. Thanks for the suggestions on the last video. It doesn't sound like it's going on all four. I've got a feeling I know what it is, and I've got a feeling it's just a post-paint thing. By draining a tank, an old tank, you get some crap in it. I really must start rinsing them out. I've got to find a better way of doing it though, because yeah, of rinsing out, because I just think it bits of crap get loosened when you're moving it around, etc., and I think you just end up sucking it through. So I think that's the issue. So what? It's another carb clean. There's no way around it. It shouldn't be a difficult one. There's nothing being left to rot in there this time. It's probably just got some shite through it, so might clean the filter or even change the filter and go through all of that. But what I do want to do, partly because I said I was going to do it, and actually because it's starting to annoy me, is concentrate on the wheels, because I need to get them ready for fresh rubber. So that one has got the new axle in it, which I could have left until the other side, until it was being done for the new rubber, but I wanted to do it myself to prove that I could. To me more than anything else, not to you guys. Now, harking back on my videos, some of you may remember it, apart from maybe the newer ones that wouldn't have seen it. I can't really get a view, it's a bit dark at the back of my garage, but when I took this to its pre-MOT, Hayden, the lovely bloke there, pointed something out and was really stupid. The wheel is on back to front. By the wheel I mean the wheel well. The tyre is on the right way on the wrong side, or on the wrong way around the wheel, if that makes any sense. What it also means is these wavy discs are on the right way for its current setup, but if I'm going to flip the wheel to go the other way, they're going to be facing the wrong way. So what? It's wheel off, well, wrong, rewind. It's mudguard off, which is a pain because everything is just so tight on a sports bike. But anyway, mudguard off, wheel off, brake discs off, invert them, swap them over, bang it back on. I might have a bit of a piss around with the paint while I'm going. Thanks for the comments on painted wheels. It is a real, it is a 90s thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go green. I might just go for a bit of touch up on the black on what we've got. So all of that done, back on, invert, done. Now I think what I might do, I'll see how I get on. I might just take off the front mudguard and leave it off, because once I put the wheel back on and back on the bike, I am going to need fresh rubber on them anyway. So now if you're going to do that, why don't you just leave the wheel off and go and get a tyre put on it? The issue that I've got is I haven't got a lot of space. My bikes are immobile without wheels, weirdly enough. So I'll bang it back on, and it just means that I can slide the bike in and out as and when, and then hopefully try and get the wheels done in the week, or the tyres done in the week. But I'll see how I get on. Right, I'm not going to film getting the mudguard off, mostly because when I'm doing a bit of bike bondage, I'm quite jammed at the back of my garage, so I won't film this bit, but I'll jump you back in a bit later on. Right, and there we go. That's a terrible lighting. I do apologise. So that's the brake calipers off, the wheel off. I'll keep as much as I can, try and keep the bits in the right orientation and the right order for when I bang them back on, because I do forget. Wheels come off fine, so what I'm going to need to do is be daft not to give it a bit of a clean when it's all off, but the bearings are absolutely fine. It rolls beautifully, so I'm not going to piss around with them. So it should be. Whip those off, swap that one for that one, and ditto. Now I've timed this beautifully because I've got to go and take one of the kids to drama, so I've given it a quick douse in penetrating oil. I'll give it another quick one in those, because those bolts haven't moved for quite a while. and then I'll get on with them. I think I'm going to try it by hand rather than by machine, because I really don't want to strip those. So I'll give that a go in a couple of minutes once I've taken the dog for a walk and dropped one off at a club. Right, so back from a club drop off and then an emergency drop off of a Halloween fancy dress, because we didn't know. These seem to be coming out reasonably well. I don't want to say too much because I'll tempt fate and it'll all cock up. So I've got my big impact driver there, but I don't like going straight in with power tools, because I just think you're more likely to shear things. So, I'm not sure what you can see. So I've got the arrow, that's the orientation it was on the bike. So tyres orientated correctly, bike wheel is orientated the wrong way. So this is the right hand that I'm going to have to put over to the left hand to swap it over. Alright, so I think I'm loose enough here and confident enough here to go into power tools. Yeah, I don't think that's going to strip. It's got a receptacle for my bolts. Rattle gun done. Looked like there might have been yeah, might have been glued on at some stage. One down. Right, so that's the right one. So for the sake of my sanity, it's the one I've taken off the right, so I'm going to put on the right of the bike. Let's see if we're as fortunate on the other side. Wheel views like, yeah, not bad. Right, kneel on. A bit of brute force and ignorance. Alright, happy with that. Rattle gun out. Quite sure why that's wandering so much. Never mind. Right, there we go. That's the one that came off the left. Now, I can measure those, etc., and I will, but there's plenty of life left on those. Right, so back after cleaning the wheel itself. I did look at painting it, but frankly, I think that's for the next owner, to be honest. I can't be bothered more than anything else. I did try some black that I've got on there, but it's just not thick enough. Got some don't run off way, got some thread lock. I've only got blue rather than red, but I'll do. So I've done one side, mid doing the other. This seems to have blocked up, so I'm kind of painting it on ever so slightly. I did give the bolt a quick once over on my Nick, on my angle grinder, on my polishing thing, just to get the worst off. And one thing I did notice, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see, there is actually an R and an L on these. So as ever, doing opposite sides. So one side, then move across to the other side, and the other side, and the other side. Right, jobs are good. So now we have a wheel that's on the right way, which is, you know, a nice change. A tyre that isn't, but the tyre is being replaced, so I'm really not bothered. So I could just leave that as is, as I've discussed earlier, and get the tyres done, but frankly it means I can't move the bike, so I'm going to bang them back on, and let's get this thing mounted again. Right, so there we go, that's the wheel back on. The wheel back on, it's the so the wheel's on the right way. So it's quite a lot to go through to not actually look that different, but the wheel's on the right way. Now the tyre is on the wrong way, but as I said before, that tyre is getting replaced anyway, so I'm happy. I'm not going to bother with the mudguard for the moment because it's only going to have to come off or risk getting damaged when the wheel gets changed anyway, so I'll chuck that back on at a later point. I might try now, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get the time, so I won't cover it in this video, but to see if I can have a look at the rough running issues, which is going to be tank off, carb out, etc, etc. That's probably too much to do today because there's a lot of other things going on today, including Halloween prep and things like that for the kids, so I can't tie up too much time playing with bikes for once, no matter how much I'd love to. But no, happy with that. That is now set up. I think tomorrow's work is going to be having a play with the see if I can sort out the issues. I did buy some paint, some black to do the edge here, and I thought I'd be clever and go for some water-based paint. It's easier to tidy up, but it's just too thin, and it's not going to cover, so I'm going to have to get some oil-based, something with a bit more balls to it, I think, to cover that up. I did try a bit of it on the wheel, and it just runs off. It's rubbish. Right, that'll do me for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned, and we'll see if we can sort out these running concerns, shall we? Cheers all. Catch you later. And I'm still here. For the new subscribers, I tend to do this quite a lot, where I think I'm signing off and think I'll just try one more thing. Having a look at why it wasn't running particularly well. Before I got to the carbs, took the tank off, ran it just to see what was going on. I think there was an issue with fuel delivery more than anything else to start with, so I changed the filter. I've never used filters before. There is no arrow on these, so I assumed that it could go one way or another. Actually, looking at it and reading up, etc., it should have gone left to right, i.e. fuel flowing the direction my finger's pointing. So coming in here through the filter and out that way, you can see how dirty it is by the outside of your filter. I had it that way. Not sure if that made any difference, but it seems to have done something. What I've also, and I've replaced it and put a fresh one in. What I've also did was dig through the sparks. When it was running, I was short of 1 was hot, 2 was cold, 3 was hot, 4 was cold, which looks like a coil to me. Had a play with the coil, had a clean out of the sparks as well, and got common spark off all 4. Thought, well, that sounds good. Ran it and it sounded completely different, so I've plumbed it all back together, and I know a couple of people have commented on whether or not it was running on all 4. It is now. Sounds a lot better. Sorry, I've been going so long, my microphone's run out of charge. Not sure how much you're going to be able to see here. Width off the stand. It is hard to see because lights are all the way back. Scorchio, 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 Scorchio. So I'm back on all 4, and I think I'm just going to whack it around the block just to make sure that that's all hunky-dory and comfy. Right then, let's see if Kermit runs any nicer after that little bit of spark work. Oh. Sounds better, sounds beefier. Yeah. Yeah, now that's alive again. Idle's too high. Like it's got his balls back. It felt a little bit limp yesterday, which would make sense if it wasn't running on all four. It just felt a little bit hollow. Oh dear. Oh, that looks nasty. Somebody's had a hard day there. That road was closed off earlier, I see why now. Nobody was hurt. Right. And I did realise yesterday I really have to shout when I'm on this because it is loud. I've got my visor. I need to get a decent vlogging set, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong, this GoPro Hero Session 5 is a brilliant camera, but I can't remote a microphone from it. Yeah. So anyway, back to this afternoon about the next bit of tech that I want to buy. I'm going to get it around the corner to the normal stock block, and we'll try and tear the arse off it a little bit. But it feels better. It sounds better. It's got a better rumble. Considerably better rumble. Its idle is strong rather than slightly sporadic as it was before. Nobody behind me. Let's give it a go. Yeah, okay. That's how it should be. That's how you need to run, Kermit. Yeah, Kermit's happy again. I think no point being prolonging the ride. I'll take it back and I'll probably fast forward you back because these videos are getting quite long. We'll chuck some water on the pipes just to confirm they're all warm, but I can feel it. Yeah. Oh, lovely, lovely thing. Right, so we're back. I'm having a shout because this is loud. Let's go 4, Scorchio 3, Scorchio 2, Scorchio 1, Scorchio. All 4 running. It's not hanging anymore. Happy with Kermit there. Well happy. That's a different bike than yesterday. That's a completely different bike yesterday. I'm starting to, and thanks to everybody that's pointing out, when I can hear that's 3 cylinders, yada. I'm not there yet. I'm not experienced enough to do that, but I'm getting there. I get it. It sounds different. It sounds hollow. I don't really know how to describe it. It just doesn't sound right. So I'm getting there. I can appreciate when a bike doesn't sound right. I'm just not quite in the in the experience levels of being able to diagnose what it is, but you know, essentially in that case it didn't quite sound right. So what I thought it was fuel delivery to start with. That might have been contributing, but I was wrong. It did mean that I turned that filter the right way, which can only be a good thing. I could hear the fuel pump was slightly struggling, so I think that's and I was considering bypassing it, which is how I got it in the first place, but I'm happy I got that squared away as I can. Then went to the pipes, noticed two were cool, didn't think it was fuel in. Frankly, couldn't be asked to take the carb off straight away. I wanted to see if there was anything else. I hadn't really looked at the sparks. I realised why, because they're a bugger to get to on this. But anyway, went through the sparks, went 1 to 4, checked each one, took each one out, cleaned it, put it back in. I had spark on all 4, turned it over. It sounded good, although obviously there was no fuel attached, so it ran out pretty quickly. This is quite a thirsty boy as well. Yeah, brilliant. Well happy. Right, now the only thing left to do, really, apart from obviously the tyres, which I'm not going to do myself. I can do tyres, but without the right tools it's such an arseache. So I'll give Hayden a shout. It's probably going to be Monday now, and sort out the tyres. I'll take the whole bike up and he can MOT it. Excuse me, excuse the noise. I'll take the whole bike up and he can MOT it at the same time, which would be brilliant. And then we'll see how we get on. The only bit that I've got bits and pieces left to do this weekend, I need to get some paint so that I can tar up the little bits on the frame. Like I said before, I'd love to go back to the polish, but I just don't have it in me to do it anymore on this bike, so I can just get rid of that, just to tart up the black a little bit, and then it's good to go. Right, now this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Cheers all.